Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to another new video. Today we are back on Void Linux. I know you thought I forgot about you. I didn't. Well, I did. I was sick, but we're back now. I guess before we can start this, it's time for some alcohol. Like I said, I've been sick for a little bit, so no whiskey. We'll go with Guinness. How about that? Not bad, right? Now, I know if you're going to get Guinness, you're meant to get the can, and you're meant to put it in a glass. So there we go. We're all set. This is a Pilsner glass, not the special Guinness gravity glass that they say you're supposed to buy. I'm not suggesting a conspiracy. I would never go that far, but here's what I will say. Who makes Guinness? Guinness. Who makes the special little bullshit gravity glass that you're meant to put it in? Also Guinness. So, when we left off with good old Void Linux, I'd basically just done a base install, and I put Awesome Window Manager on here, just have some sort of graphical setup. In between that video and the last video, I have installed NeoFetch. So that is it. What I thought I'd do is just sort of go through and set up this system to the point where I would be happy using it. That includes downloading my configs, pulling them down, installing a couple of apps. What I'm really interested in doing is checking out XBPS-SRC, which is meant to be sort of, as I understand it, Void Linux's answer to the AUR. Much like the AUR, it's easy to create packages and put them inside of XBPS-SRC. What's different about XBPS-SRC and the AUR is that it's sort of more officially sanctioned by the OS, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But first, we're just going to get the good old system set up. So the first thing that we're going to need to do is pull down some dot files. So do I have git installed? I do not. So let's go ahead and try to do sudo xbps install git and give that a shot. Looks good. It's going to download some dependencies as well, so that's cool. In the meantime, maybe let's open up another terminal here and let's try something that I know is going to be stupid and almost definitely won't work, but one thing that I've always found annoying about almost every OS, Linux OS, is how you can't install multiple programs at once. So again, I don't expect this to work here. I'm not going to be mad when it doesn't, but I am going to give it a shot here. And okay, yeah, so you can't do that. That's cool. I just thought it was worth checking. Go ahead and make the font size a bit bigger here. And I can go ahead and pull down some dot files. So let's go into, do I have a documents folder? What do I actually have here? Okay, I've got nothing in my home folder, which is great. You could use, what the hell is the name of the program? XDG utils or, oh, I forget, I think it's called XDG. I forget what the name of the program is, but there's apps you can use to create home folders in your home directory. What you can also do is just make empty directories. So I'll make a documents folder and I'll go ahead and cd in there and we can pull down my dot file. So I'll go ahead and do git clone. One thing that I do a lot is I set the depth to 1 on a git clone, just so that I don't have to wait for the entire git history to download. And that's really, really helpful if I'm just using this on a secondary machine where I don't really need access to the whole history. But I'll go ahead and just put in the URL to my dot files, let that do its thing. This will take a second to download, but much less time since I'm not pulling the entire history of that Git repository, just the current state of it. So then once I have that set up, what I should be able to do is if I list all the files here, I do have a config directory, so I'll go ahead and just remove -rf, that config folder, and then I want to link to pull down my own config. So I'll link to from that docs my .config folder, drop it right here. And if I go ahead and list all the files again, you can see I just created a little source to it. And we probably don't even really need to pull down much else. If I do Control-Command-R, I believe that's how you reset Awesome. That's going to be a bit of an issue because I did not have Polybar installed. So I'm going to hop out of Awesome really, really quickly here. It turns out there was an issue with Alacrity on Void Linux, so that's a little annoying, but I think we're good there. I'll figure that out later. One thing we could install pretty quickly is make this look a little better for the video, is I could go ahead and try to do maybe sudo xbps install, and we'll see if they have PyCom or some version of PyCom. I'm not going to try to find any forks or anything right now. Normally I use a fork of PyCom. I forget which one in particular it is. We can maybe try to go ahead and run that, which isn't going to do us much good until we have a wallpaper installed. So I can maybe go ahead and let's try, let's go into my docs folder again, and I'll do git clone and I'll pull down my wallpapers repository, and that one is definitely a big one, so maybe we'll just set the depth to 1. And in the meantime, while that's happening, we're actually going to need some way to set the wallpaper. So normally the two programs that I would use, there's one called Fay that I like, and there's another one called Nitrogen. So maybe we could try to install them both, because Fay is actually a pretty decent little lightweight image viewer as well. So let's try to install those. Looks like they're both there. We're all set. So far, nothing I've really tried to install has hung and been like, no, we don't got that. You gotta find your own way to build it, other than suckless apps. But you're really meant to build those on your own, so who cares? So we've got Nitrogen and Fay installed. If I go ahead and launch Nitrogen, I'm gonna go into the preferences and add the directory where I have my wallpapers. Go ahead and select that. Okay. And nothing is downloaded. That's fine. It looks like they're still downloading. What I might be able to do is just open up Firefox, which I don't have installed. That's an issue. So XBPS, sudo XBPS install Firefox. Okay, go ahead and let that do its thing. So far, if I'm being honest, the vibe that I'm getting is that even more so than Arch Linux, Void Linux is really geared towards the super nerdy Linux people. What I mean by that is they seem to be building the OS to run free apps almost exclusively. You can definitely install proprietary apps on it, but you have to literally go in and enable that. We're probably going to get there in a second. It just seems that the people that are maintaining Void care a whole lot about stuff that is important. I do care about free software, I want to be clear, but I'm not a zealot about it the way that some people are. So I really don't mind installing proprietary apps if it's the only app to do the job, or it does the app significantly better than free apps even. This, I gotta say, I don't think it's up my alley, which is a bit of a shame, because I know there's a decent amount of people watching my channel that really enjoy it. And don't get me wrong, I'm still going to throw it on a laptop and drive it as a secondary sort of setup for a while and see how annoying it is. That's generally how I judge Linux distributions that aren't Arch, but I don't know that this is going to be for me. While that's doing its thing, let me go ahead and open up another good old terminal here. And let's try to install XBPS-SRC. This is what I thought was going to be a big part of the video, but it turns out most of the stuff that I wanted access to is just available via the normal default XBPS install package manager. You don't have to, I haven't really had to enable the proprietary software yet. I haven't had to do any of that, but I want to see how difficult it is to get Void Linux's answer to the AUR set up. So let's go ahead and we're going to do a git clone, which is how the AUR works. This seems to be pretty similar so far. So we'll do github.com/voidlinux/void packages. And actually, while we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and just do the depth 1 thing again, just to save on the download time. For some reason, my internet connection's having some issues today. I might have to call my ISP as that kind of level of issue. You can see here sort of why the depth 1 is important. If we take a look at these two different versions here, you can see originally we're trying to download 800,000 files as part of the full Git history, and now that we've set the depth to 1, we're downloading 28,000 files. So that's a significant difference in terms of download time. So from there, it seems to be pretty similar. We need to cd into the void packages folder that we just cloned, and we need to run, there's a script in here called XBPS-SRC. So we're going to ./XBPS-SRC or SRC, and we need to run binary bootstrap is the sort of option we give it. So we'll go ahead and give that a shot. And this is how we're going to install and get access to the extra tools. And what I'm going to install is Discord. The reason why I'm not actually really a huge Discord user is just because that was the first package I came across that was not available in any of the other repos. I was trying to go out and find stuff that was wasn't available in XBPS and sort of the standard package manager, or just thereby enabling access to proprietary apps. But everything was there. Polybar was there. Steam was there. Everything else was there. This was the first app that I thought of that was not available through any of the normal package manager means in Void Linux. So we're going to try and grab that and see what we can do. I'm going to go ahead and let's try to install Polybar. Install Polybar. We can get that working. Okay, so once we have Polybar installed, I'm going to go ahead and try to just run one of my Polybar scripts and see what happens. Let's try that one. Okay, I see. It looks like I just need to go into that script because of the display order is a little messed up there. So that's an issue on my part for trying to run a script with the display order jacked up. And we'll find the script that I want, and we're just gonna have it edit. I'm gonna change the name of the monitor, and then what I should be able to do is just run /config polybar the name of the script. And hey, look at that, we have a polybar setup. There's a few issues. It looks like the app that I'm using to pull down the host name isn't available. I could look at that and jack with it. Actually, let me go ahead and install Zeesh, because it's kind of annoying me having to use bash instead of the Z shell. XBPS install -s, and I'm sure Zeesh is there. Okay, looks good. And here's a hot tip. You can do the change shell command to change your shell, but if you're not sure you want to do that, which is a case I run into sometimes, like on a virtual machine, you can go into the bash RC, which almost every distribution I've ever used uses bash as the default. And what you can do is just sort of clear it out and type Zeesh in there. So then every time you launch a new terminal, it just automatically puts you into Zeesh. And since we're doing that, I'll go ahead and link up my Zeesh config, which is easy to do. ln-sf, and we'll pull from docs/dot/zeesh env, put it right here in our home directory. And then if we go and quit this terminal, open a new terminal, you can see here, we're ready to go. It doesn't have access to Fortune. I guess we could go ahead and try to install that. Why not? Sudo XBPS install Fortune, and Fortune not found. I know sometimes it's called Cal Fortune, not there either. It looks like it might be called Fortune mod, which is a bit odd, but we'll go ahead and give that a shot. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we'll go ahead and reload Zeesh, see what happens. No Fortunes found. That's fine. That's an issue with my Fortune config. Who cares? It does look like we have wallpapers now, so we could go ahead and launch nitrogen. And hey, look at that. We got some nice ones here. Let's go ahead and try to find one that we like. The display scaling is another thing we'd have to fix if we really cared a whole lot. I do not. So we'll go ahead and set the this to zoomed fill. Let's pick a nice wallpaper here. Looks good. Apply that bad boy. We can go ahead and quit now. Honestly, though, this is getting pretty close to a system I'd be okay with using as soon as we can get XBPS source set up. And I just need a web browser, which Firefox will install no problem. The packages to install XBPS source are still taking a while to download, so let's go ahead and I'm going to try to install Steam real quick, which apparently is pretty easy to do. What we have to do is just enable access to the non-free software side of things on Void Linux, which isn't terribly difficult to do. Once you have installed it, you can still use XBPS install to install the apps. You basically just have to sync up that repository, which isn't by default. So we're going to do sudo xbps install. Go ahead and clear the screen, and we'll do sy, which is exactly how you do this on Arch. And we'll go ahead and sync up the void repo non-free, which isn't that annoying. Even on Arch, you have to enable the 32-bit repositories to install Steam, so that wasn't too bad. Now let's go and do sudo xbps install -s, keep forgetting to do that, and then Steam. So we've got Steam now. We actually should be able to go ahead and launch it. So let's go ahead and try to maybe launch Steam, see what happens. Looks good. Yeah. Okay, cool. You're missing the following 32-bit libraries. I actually did read that this could be an issue. And it looks like all you would have to do is link ln-s and link from etc sv dbus and link it to var/service, and also do that as sudo. Obviously, since these are root directories we're messing with. We are now ready to go ahead and try to get XBPS source working, which was originally going to be the whole point of this video, and then I realized it wasn't going to be necessary. But now that we have the dependencies installed, we should be able to run ./xbps source here, binary, bootstrap. Okay, that seemed to work. And then we need to echo xbps allow _restricted equals yes. Put that into etc/conf, which we're gonna have to do as sudo here. Give it a password, looks good. And then let's go back into our home directory, and we should be able to run .xbps-SRC package discord. Or maybe we do have to do that in the void packages folder. I don't know. ./xbps source. package Discord. Okay, looks like you do have to do it from the folder where you installed XBPS source, but you could also just set that up as a path in your shell config. So that's not, I'm not tripping about that at all. No biggie there. It is definitely downloading some files to install Discord, so we'll let that do its thing. And then once that is done, one more thing apparently I have to do is I have to do XBPS or sudo XBPS install xtools and let that install. And then once we've done that, we need to cd into master dir and then run xi discord and let that install. And then we can run Discord, I assume. Discord. Okay, so I don't know. Discord's definitely installed. It's just not launching the way it's supposed to for some reason. I don't know. I think this is a good place to end the video. I think I've gotten what I need to know. Void Linux, not for me. I don't know. The claim that people make is that the package manager is significantly better than a lot of the other options out there. I don't buy that. Maybe I'm missing something. If I am, as always, feel free to leave comments. Always, I'm always happy to learn if I'm wrong about something, but for me, it seems like the package manager seems about the same as every other package manager I've ever used. Maybe it's really good at updating or something. XBPS source, their AUR answer is not in any way significantly easier to manage or set up than the AUR is. There's nothing wrong with this, of course. I think, like I said, I did install this on one of my laptops, or actually my one laptop. I'm down to one now, my secondary machine. And I'll continue to use it. I don't find it unusable or anything. It's just, I don't know. I don't see what's special about it. So there's my hot take. Thanks everybody for watching this video. Sorry to the Void Linux fans. It does seem to be a totally acceptable and fine OS, but I don't know. It's just not really my thing. All right, whatever. We're gonna go ahead and end that there. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.